Hello, friends. This is really kind of weird. I'm just really in this strange, I don't know if strange is even the right word. Like, sometimes I really grapple with trying to find the right wording for things. And it's really hard. Well, it's, I'm a writer, and so as a writer, or even creative of any type, words sometimes just mess up stuff because we have, we've attached words with certain feelings and objects, and, well, objects not so much, but with feelings, we try to pinpoint a feeling with a word, and sometimes it doesn't work out for me. And having said that, I'm just in this space. I've been in just this amazing space of reflection and introspection. It's like I've come out of, I have come out of a phase, out of a level. And I know it, I feel it on many levels. 2 episodes ago or 2 videos ago, I talked about the aftermath of being in the throes of another evolution of transformation. And so since then, I have been just in an unfamiliar place. That's the word, an unfamiliar place. Coming off of the new moon last week, and new moons are, new intentions and the things that we want to bring, that we want to manifest into our lives. And ever since then, this question has just been surfacing in my mind and in my heart. So much so till I have just had to stop and sit and think on one question. What do I want? What do I want? And I have not been able to answer this question. It's just, yesterday I cleaned, I decluttered, I steamed the floor in my room, I aired it all out, and while I was cleaning, it was like cleaning, tidying up my space brought clarity in my mind and in my soul. And yet and still, there's no answer. So the analytical part of me is like, okay, there's something wrong. If you don't want something, you need stuff, but I don't. So this is this thing that this dialogue that's been going on within me. I don't need anything. And so during my meditation and communion time this morning, there was an overwhelming sense of presence around me. And one aspect of my life is my ancestral connection. I don't know my family. I don't know my family tree. I know my aunt, my mom, my father, my grandmothers, my aunts, my uncles. And that's it. I don't know where I come from outside of Barstow, where I was born and raised, right? I don't know lineage. And that, as I've gotten older, has moved more to the forefront of my conscious mind and in a place in my heart. Abandonment. That's I think that's where it sits at. I have this deep sense of abandonment, of a lonely, not lonely, but alone in the sense of there's no support. And I'm not talking in the natural realm. I'm talking in the spiritual realm, because I sense a part of me, and it probably goes back to the little girl, the child in me, you know. And I get it. I understand these are things that I'm working on. I'm really working on the inner child, understanding my inner child, based off of what has happened and the video that what I described in a couple videos ago. So this morning I was sitting, and I just felt this overwhelming presence. A presence not of my usual celestial family presence. And it's brought up in me my divinity, which is something that I understand as a child of God, right? But it's not something that I have ever really thought about. And I began to question, like, why do I care? Like, there's so many things that I could be thinking about during this time, but why is my divinity coming up? And it's an intricate thing how things come together spiritually, right? Outside of the human mindset. You know, our as humans, we see things linear. We have been taught that time is linear, that everything goes one way, but it doesn't. And I'm seeing that. So I'm going to try and tie this together, because I do have a message. And I wasn't even planning on doing a video. Like, I'm just kind of sitting here trying to figure Asha out the best way I can, which is, I'm saying, trying to figure this all out is insanity. But I'm sitting here feeling this overwhelming presence that I believe is ancestral. What I do know about my family is that on my father's side, there are a lot of pastors, a lot of ministers. There's a lot of spiritual work, a lot of heavy spiritual stuff. And on my mother's side, there's a lot of, my grandmother on my mother's side is very intuitive, but she was adopted, and I don't know I just don't know. And I think that's what hurts me so, is I don't know my family, my mother's side of the family. Once my aunt passes, I will be the only living remainder of my mother's side of the family. On my father's side, it's a lot. A lot. Wow. Okay. I don't know where this is going. I just know I'm supposed to be doing this right now. So Spirit is leading me to share about the relationship between me and my father. This is not where I thought I was going, but nevertheless, it's not about me. I'm a conduit. And Spirit said, make it brief. Okay. My father was a very angry, abusive man. My very first memory that I remember stuff from ages that I shouldn't remember stuff, but I always had this dream or vision of, and I was in the bassinet in the hospital. I didn't know until later, but my mother explained it to me. But as a little girl, I always had this vision or dream that I was tiny in a bassinet or a baby bed or whatever you want to call it, and this dark figure approached me every time. It was just the same scene over and over. A dark figure was standing over me, and it was ominous, and it was menacing, and it was just staring down over me with pure hatred. And then it would just walk away. It would just leave. When I finally opened up to my mother about it, she said, no, that was not a dream. That really happened. That was my dad, my father, coming to see me after I was born. And he was very angry. My father was very angry, full of hatred, because I was a girl. He wanted a son to carry on his name. He was very angry and very disappointed. And he showed it. He showed it. He was very abusive to me. So anyway, as I grew older, I became a bodybuilder. He got mad about that. He told me, you want to look like a boy, a man, but you couldn't have been born a man, born male, whatever. And then once I received Christ, no, it was that was before I received Christ. It was sometime during my preteen, or maybe 14, 15, 16 years old. Out of nowhere, he came to me and he said, I will never forget, he looked me right in my eyes and said, you and I will never be close. He said, I will never be close. He said, I seen your light. I saw your light when you were born. He said, I am the gatekeeper of hell. I determine where people go. And because of that, you and I will never be close. And that was that. Amazing. As I got older and learned of certain things that happened to him, as far as religion, Christianity, I understand. I had a vision of what had happened to him, and I asked him about it, and he said it was true. Okay, I'll share the vision. I saw my father walking up the stairs to the church that my grandmother attended. And at this point, he had made the decision he wanted to change his life or turn his life around. He was not a nice person. He made the decision he wanted to give his life over to Christ. I saw him walking up the stairs to this church, and there were 4 deacons standing in front of the church. Each one of them knew him well, and they told him that he could not come into the church. They told him that God did not want his kind in his house, and they turned him away. And that's when he, quote unquote, went dark side. He took the role, or accepted the role, of gatekeeper, so that for those specific men, he would determine where they went. I called him. After I had the vision, I called my dad. And he said, yes, that's exactly what happened. And he said, I knew the day would come when you would step into your divinity. Wow. Okay. That ties in. Now I understand why divinity. Okay. He said, I knew the day would come when you would step into your divinity. And there was a moment right there, a pause in the conversation. Shortly after that, my dad lost his mind. He was an alcoholic, and he stopped drinking cold turkey. And it sent him into psychosis. It was a horrible, horrible experience to see him. He did not recognize me. It was ugly. It was very ugly. Then Alzheimer's kicked in, and he died not too long after that. This is not what I thought was going to happen at all, but this being obedient. 3 years ago, so this was over 15 years ago. It was well before my youngest son was born, so well over 15 years ago. And at that time, I was just learning. I was filled with the Holy Spirit, with the manifestation of speaking in tongues. My gifts started coming forth. The prophetic gifts started coming forth. The intercessor started coming forth. I was really being groomed and trained in Christianity. And it was a powerful, pivotal spiritual time of my life. And that interaction with my father was cataclysmic. Because to have a man who hated me and despised me as his child, to have that turnaround like that, and him saying that, there's no words for me to express the change. I think maybe it anchored me more so in spirituality than in Christianity. So flash forward to 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. I was having communion, my regular morning communion, and I had a vision. That's the air coming on that. So if you guys can't hear that, that's nothing descending down upon me. I had a vision. My oldest son, who has passed on, came to me, and he wasn't alone. He brought my father with him. My father spoke to me, and first he apologized for our relationship. He apologized for the pain that he inflicted upon me, the physical pain, the emotional pain. He apologized for. He apologized for it hurting me, but he expressed that it was a necessity. And this is where this is where the quote, "We are spiritual beings having a human experience," really kind of hits home for me, because what he was telling me just cemented in me the understanding that we come here to learn and experience humanity, to experience being human. And those hard, harsh experiences that we go through is what we need to evolve back to that spiritual being. Cycle of life. But anyway, my father came to tell me to finish the story, to finish his story for me. He went back to that conversation that we had, where he said that I had stepped into my divinity. He said that after he got off the phone with me, he had made the decision that he wanted to get his life right. He wanted to get himself together, because he knew that the road going forward for me was going to be rough. It was going to be harsh. And he wanted to get himself right so that he could help me through what I was going into. Which meant that he would have to relinquish his role, I guess you could call it, of gatekeeper. So basically, put it in what we say, he had sold his soul to the devil. made the decision to be dark, and now he would have to petition to be relieved from that. His petition was denied. Now, if you don't believe in spirituality like this, if you don't believe that there is a dark side, a dark world, it's fine. I am just giving my experience. Just giving my experience, sharing. When my father decided to change his ways, derision, the spirit of derision was loosed on him. And it drove him crazy. It was an onslaught of demonic, dark spirits loosed on him. And it drove him crazy. That conversation, that communication with him shattered so much in my life. I don't know, maybe I jumped timelines, maybe, I don't know, kind of jumped timelines backwards, and a lot was healed for me through that conversation, through his visitation. A lot lifted off of my heart and my mind, a lot of the low self-esteem, a lot of the harsh engagement that I had because of the words that he spoke over me were broken, and it set me on the road to emotional, mental healing from what he had done to me. And it also opened me up to understanding divinity. And so that's where I landed this morning. My divinity came up. We are all divine. We are all a part of God, the universe, whatever your terminology is. We are divine. Our DNA is wrapped. I just saw the whole DNA thing. You know, it goes like this and then it's kind of wrapped. That wrapping is our divinity. And that's what self-actualization is all about. It is about coming out of our human consciousness. I'm trying to receive this. It's coming down to me. Our whole evolution is coming out of human consciousness and rising into super consciousness or Christ consciousness from where we came. Wow. Man, I cannot express to you guys how therapeutic and cathartic this is for me, being able to just share. Just share. Wow. I hope, I pray that wherever you are, if you need this right now, I hope that it's getting right in there where you need it. And if you don't need it now, if you should need it somewhere down the line, that it sticks wherever it's supposed to stick. And that when the time comes, you'll have what you need. So back to this morning, my divinity. And I was sitting here, and once again, the thought presented itself. What do you want? What, Asha, what do I want? And this time I got an answer. Nothing. I don't want anything. I don't have the desire to set intention, to manifest anything. I am in this space where I don't want a thing. Why? Well, because in the last 2 years, almost 2 years, year and a half, I haven't had everything that I have been trying to manifest for the last, I don't know how many years. I can't even put a number on it because it's a long time. Car, money, things, full refrigerator, all of everything that I was trying to manifest and pull out of the ethers while I was homeless. Everything, all my basic needs are met. All of my desires, everything that I could want, I have. I don't want anything. I'm whole. And I don't need anything. And I sat, and even as I'm saying this now, it still seems so unbelievable to not want anything. So then Spirit began to speak to me, and I'm going to share this. Dearest child, you are absolutely divine. You have always been divine. It is just that now you are experiencing your divinity. Divinity is the place of absolution, where humanly desires fade into absolution. And I looked up, so here we go with the word thing, right? What I started out with, words, and attaching feelings or emotions or to words. And everything that I looked up, it said release from punishment, forgiveness of sins, along that line. Like you've been absolution, you've been forgiven of your sins, mercy has been bestowed upon you, all these type of things. But that just did not feel right. Like that's not how I feel. That's not it. So I'm sitting here getting until I kept going down. Google, it just kept going down, and I found this. Absolution is a state of liberation or release. And Spirit said, listen carefully. To not want anything is to be freed from everything. And I did a short some months ago where Spirit had spoken to me and said something along the lines of free from desire Free from desire, man knows no sorrow. I'm going to attach it to this video some type of way. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But Spirit reminded me that we had this conversation, but not in this depth some time ago. So to want nothing, to not want anything, is to be freed from everything. The desire for more is the plague of humanity. It is the downfall of mankind. More, more, more is the rant of the ages, like down through the ages. There is no end to want. And then Spirit gave me the scripture, Isaiah 5:14, where it says that hell enlarges herself and opens her mouth wide, or opens her mouth without measure. And what it's referring to, the different translations, I kind of pulled the one that I could work with better. It goes on to say that Jerusalem's splendor, her multitude, her boisterous uproar, and her drunken revelers descend into it. So basically, hell opens her mouth, enlarges her mouth for all those that are the greed and the covetousness and just wanting more and more and more, because that's the end of it, right? It's just destruction. It's just the end of all of that. And as I said in previous videos, like, this is not about Christianity, but I was spiritually raised in Christianity, so I know scripture. But please don't let that deter you. That's all about Spirit. Spirit went on to say, so it is with human desires. The eyes get wider, the mouths water more. Greed drives and pushes harder to the point of malicious deeds and acts of cruelty. Like, we have been so conditioned to want more cars, bigger houses, more clothes, more the next version of the cell phone, just more. Just give me more. Consumerism. Just, I want more. And Spirit says, so I say again, to not want anything is to be freed from everything. This strange feeling you have is absolution. It's a state of liberation. It is the awareness of the fullness of the space of perfection, where there is nothing missing and nothing broken. And for me, that is the true definition of perfection. What we have been conditioned to believe is that perfection is this thing that, like, this thing that is absolutely not attainable. Well, the perfect body, the perfect income, the perfect, like, it's just this esoteric thing that is what keeps driving us to get better, get bigger, not better, to get more, because with more we reach this kind of grandiose place of kingship or something. I don't know, just this place on high. That's not it. To be perfect, something perfect, means that there's nothing missing and nothing broken. A perfect car, all its parts are there, and they all work interdependently. Like my last video, everything works interdependently, with nothing missing and nothing broken. We have perfect health. There's nothing missing and nothing broken. Right? So the space of absolution it's that, this final part of what Spirit was saying. It's that tender space of true presence, the actual engagement of existence, and that pause in our breath. The pause in our breath. So when you take a deep breath in, and that pause right there, that pause before the release. That space of equilibrium. The gap that still tender moment where all that is, right? That moment where there's peace. There's peace. Well, there's nothing needed. Everything is whole and perfect. Where there's nothing missing and nothing broken. And that's where I am. I don't need anything, and I don't want anything, and I'm content where I am. That is divinity. That is the expression of our divine selves. The perfection of who we truly are. There's nothing missing and nothing broken. We are whole. We are whole. And that's where I am. This is a place where "25 years ago I never thought was possible." The last 7 years, it was a goal. And now it's an actuality. Wow. On this journey to actualization. So I guess in essence, this is a moment or a space and time of self-actualization, or a level of it, because I haven't gotten there. I'm still, I'm kind of like, it's just a journey. It's not a destination. This is a marker. It's a marker, right? Healing. A lot of healing is taking place. And it stands to reason, because in order to get to this place where I don't want anything, I don't need anything, I'm content where I am, there has been some major healing that has taken place. It took place right here, right now, with me speaking about my father. And we heal on multiple levels because at this space in time, this space on this journey, my inner child is still being healed and integrating into the whole. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. I'm grateful. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening, for showing up, for subscribing, for watching, for sharing. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. This is amazing to be doing this. Authenticity the hard way is an actualization of an intention. A manifestation, actualization of an intention that I had a long time ago, and I'm here and I'm doing it. Recently I've been going through so much till my content, I have not been doing anything as far as uploading as often as I want to, transitioning, right? It's there's just this whole mechanism of this journey as spiritual beings having a human experience is so diverse and so, it's a lot of moving parts, and I'm seeing that and I'm feeling it, and for me, like, I need all my parts together, but it doesn't go like that. Like, it's something over here and it's something over here, and at some point they work interdependently, but I have to digress as an Aries and allow and just allow stuff to manifest at its own time, right? This trailblazing Aries mindset is always go, but I am learning to integrate the other signs, right? I am Aries Sun, Virgo Moon, Cancer Rising. So I am learning to open up to the Virgo and the Cancer, so that all these signs can work interdependent. That's my word now, right? Interdependently. To create the whole, perfect whole. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I really do. And stay tuned. Because it's coming. I have a lot more stuff that is coming up, that I guess because everything is lighter now. It's clearer. And I can see where I'm going in this thing. I can see where I'm going, but I'm not putting markers and I'm not doing anything. I'm flowing. I'm breathing my way through this. Until next time, guys, continue your journey. It's going to get scary. It's going to get hard. It's going to get weird. It's going to get strange. It's going to get all of those words. Don't get caught up in the words. Follow the Spirit, and you'll be all right.